Being the good man costs you more than you think. You were responsible um, to be a good man, and you were reliable, you were loyal. And the question is, so why do you feel like you've disappeared? Why do you feel as though you no longer exist? Many men strive to be good men and often find themselves exhausted, overworked, overlooked, and even invisible. The qualities that once earned you respect, trust, and sometimes led to personal sacrifice and also emotional burnout. This talk, or during this talk, what I'd like to do is explore how being a dependable and loyal figure to everyone can cost you more than you realized and what you can do about it to change that. Again, still being the loving, supporting person that you've been, but finding ways that you can also partake in some self-care, some self-help, some self-care to move yourself forward. Now, the cost of always being reliable and responsible. Being responsible means people count on you. You take care of tasks, you support others, and rarely do you say no. While this builds trust, it can also lead to a lot of other things like emotional exhaustion, continuously managing other people's needs and leaving little energy for yourself and your own feelings, neglecting personal goals. Prioritizing others means that your dreams and your desires can get pushed to the side, pushed out of the way, to where you're no longer doing the things that you want to do for your own psyche, for your own well being. So, the unseen sacrifice, your effects may go unnoticed, or the effects may go unnoticed of what is going on. So, sometimes it takes, a great deal of time to realize what's leading to your frustration, what's causing you your discomfort, aggravation, all of the above. So, let's look at some simple things. Again, a man can volunteer to handle family issues, work on projects, might miss out on hobbies and social time. Over months and or years, this imbalance can erode your self-esteem and create a sense of invisibility for you as a person. Loyalties that limit your growth. Loyalties that limit your growth are loyalties that basically prize traits by blinding loyalty that can trap you in unhealthy situations. So staying loyal to people or roles that don't give you value, they don't bring value to you, is something also that can drain you. So they prevent you from, setting boundaries. You have to know sometimes that you have to say no. You have that right. You're a human being too. Keep you stuck in unfulfilling relationships and or jobs. Not saying no, not realizing that that course has traveled. That road is no longer taking you in the direction that you want to go because your direction's changed. Your goals have changed, your wants and needs have changed. Or they may have never been being fulfilled in the first place. They were somebody else's wants, somebody else's needs. Anyway, these things cause resentment when your effort and efforts aren't they're not responsive, they're not recuperative. You're not getting a reciprocal relationship with the person and or things that you're dealing with. So consider a man who reminds his friends where he is always the giver but rarely receives support. Again, look at yourself and look around you and see the people who you're around, be it it's your family or the people that you associate with. Are you the person that's always making a sacrifice? Are you the person that's always settling instead of getting what you actually want? If you start to share this with people, that may help because others may start to expect help from you without appreciation. And this can create a cycle. And that cycle can be where your needs are not met, they're overlooked. You feel invisible, despite the fact that, you're the one offering all of these services. so where you don't feel as though you're being seen. You become hesitant to ask for help and or recognition. Why? Because you continuously do stuff and it's basically them and not you. You don't feel as though it's a give and take relationship, with what it is that you're doing. And these things can lead to burnout. They can lead to you being resentful. They can lead to you deciding that you want to pull back. And then other people start to wonder what's wrong because they've always gotten their way. So, how to reclaim yourself without losing your value? Let's begin by one, being a good man doesn't mean that you're losing yourself, because being a good man is a good thing. Here are ways to balance those responsibilities, loyalties, and to reflect on some self care to help yourself. One, set clear boundaries. I say this all the time. You need to make sure that people learn that, one, you have the right to say no, and sometimes you have to demand to say no. You don't want them to overwhelm you with their requests and for what it is that they need while ignoring what you do. Communicate your limits calmly and firmly to other people. Respect and protect your time and your personal interests and get rest. Sometimes you just need a break. Next would be priorities. Prioritize your well being. Set a schedule for activities that recharge you. Seek support from trusted friends and or family members. Reflect on your feelings and your needs on a regular basis. The next thing would be that you want to reevaluate your relationships and your roles. Again, sometimes you're just doing too much. Recently my wife was talking about a group that she's involved with, and she gets people that want to have things to say, but nobody wants to step up. Nobody wants to do the job, but they want to complain. Nobody wants to do the job, but they don't want to take responsibility. Nobody wants to, let's say, read the document before the meeting, but then they want to talk about the document, but they haven't read it. They want you to read it to them. Again, that's just one example. Real life is real life. And that was a real life example. People that don't want to step up, where you're always taking on roles, responsibilities that other people should be sharing. They're members or partners or people that are involved in this event, this activity, this life that you're leading, but they don't want to play an active role in it. So the power of being a good man or woman actually is who also cares for yourself, who also cares for yourself, himself, herself. Get those people to take responsibility and or remove yourself from the process. Sometimes you may find that you're in the wrong room. So being responsible, loyal, and reliable is a strength. They are strengths, but they sometimes come with a cost. The cost is your identity, your well being. So you need to protect yourself. Balance and balancing these things is a trait and steps to self care and lead to you having a healthier relationship and a fuller life. This is Mr. Z Inspires. Please check us out at www.mrzinspires.com. And also, you can check us out on YouTube at Mr. Z Inspires. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great rest of your day.